The Robles Figueroa story starts in an old house in Parong-Parong. We will start on October 7, 1901, when Eulogio Figueroa, our amang iyong, took Adriana Robles, our inang Diana, to be his wife. It was over the threshold of this early abode in Parong-Parong that the first couple lived. They were blessed with 9 surviving children at a time when big families were not uncommon. The eldest was Ambrosio, fondly called Bosyong. Bosyong was followed by Udon, a helpful son who joined his father in the fields. Catalina, the eldest daughter, was born after Udon. Then came Pilar, a charming and kind-hearted lady. But 2 daughters didn't seem like enough for Amang Iyong and Inang Diana. They went on to have 3 more in a row. Maxima, otherwise known as Sima, smart and thrifty. Leonora, pretty and compassionate. Pasing, simple and helpful. Another son was born, Pakito, handsome and carefree. Finally came the youngest, Felisa, caring and compassionate. Back in those days, the eldest daughters were expected to help their mothers. The younger ones pursue higher education. And so, Tale and Piyang stayed on to help their mother at home so that Honor and Sima could leave and further their education. Pasing, another old sister to Felisa, did the same thing. Amang Iyong was an astute businessman. He engaged in trading. He would fill up a casco, a big boat, with pigs from Hagonoy and Paumbong. He transported and sold them in Divisoria via Manila Bay. Before heading back home, the casco would be filled with various goods and sold in Hagonoy. Amang Iyong's primary customer was the Tanwangos, who owned a big store in Hagonoy. They also owned 100 hectares of rice fields in Pampanga, which Amang Iyong leased to plant rice. Because of hard work, he later had rice fields of his own in Palige, Baliwag, Bulacan. Amang Iyong and Inang Diana sponsored cockfights in Baliwag, Paumbong, and Hagonoy because they were fond of the sport. They were not the typical gamblers. They played it safe. Amang Iyong would bet on one side and Inang Diana would bet on the opposite side. Nobody loses. Seeing the need to be closer to the town proper, the family moved from Parong-Parong to Halang in 1939. Amang Iyong immediately spotted a business opportunity in their new residence. He took advantage of the Halang's house scenic location in front of the river by transforming it into a mini trader's port. He charged 5 centavos for every boat that docked and left his port. He would even accept sugar or other bartered goods as payment if cash were not an option. Amang Iyong may not have finished higher education, but he still did well. He was able to invest in several properties in Bulacan and Pampanga. Amang Iyong and Inang Diana left the clan with important life lessons. Words of wisdom were as abundant as the grains of rice they grew. Save 10% of your income, 30% for education, 30% for family expenses, and 30% for gambling. Gambling may have also meant investment. Avoid eating out, but if you must, make sure it's takeout so that the rest of the family can share at home. Don't gamble. If you do, practice self-control. What you should not do is to take another woman because you will always lose. You should earn first what you will eat. Save money so that you don't have to borrow. Amang Iyong and Inang Diana lived to celebrate their golden wedding anniversary in 1951. They lived long enough to enjoy their grandchildren. They always look forward to their visits. They make it a point to know more about their lives aside from sharing their own personal stories. Christmas is always a special day for the family. The children and grandchildren were obliged to come home to the ancestral house and celebrate the occasion with them. Food was always a big part. Lechon was a staple, and a veritable spread was always ready on the table. One of the most awaited part during Christmas celebration is having the grandchildren fall in line for Christmas money. They would kiss his hand and he would fondly pinch their noses before handing over their cash. Grandchildren? They had a lot. His eldest son, Bosyong, and wife Ponyang were blessed with 6 children. Edong married Olive, Ruding married Onseng, Naning to Dolet, and later to Sally, Huling. Eleng married to Raleigh and Tiago to Leti. Odon, married to Tale, had 6 children, Ruben, Jose, Juanito, Pedeng, Tony, and Nene. Their children went on to marry a Mendoza, Santos, Manlapig, Pagdanganan, and Lopez. With 6 married children, Odon and Tale boasted a grand total of 33 grandchildren. As for Catalina, who was married to Sindo Eusebio, had Ilyong, Pipang, Narsing, Pabling, Adring, Loni, and Dedeng. Their 5 kids were not to be outdone. They went on to raise 32 grandchildren. Piyang, married to a dashing and soft-spoken Gil Morales, bore 5 children. Consolacion, Gilberto, Benjamin, Amelia, and Corazon. They were married to Emilio Espino, Carmen Gerlan, Mila Arabit, Eduardo Martinez, and Virgilio Bautista respectively. Piyang and Gil had a total of 28 grandchildren. This family even went on to form a basketball team for the ABL tournament. Team Morales won a championship trophy in 2012. Sima married Ramon Balmaceda and had 3 daughters. Gloria, Zenny, and Jessie married to June, Bert and Naz respectively. The youngest and the only son, Philip, married Offie Balagtas. The Balmacedas produced 17 grandchildren. Leonora, otherwise known as Honor, married the promising businessman Solis Pascual and had 5 children. Solita, who married the Lardizabal, Nori Amiresol, Mayumi Anunatin. Boy remained single, and their youngest son, Ape, married a Galvez. Together, they sired 18 grandchildren. The Pascuals later on succeeded in building a pharmaceutical empire we now know as Pascual Laboratories. The 7th child, Pasing, married Ismael Suerte Felipe, and yes, they turned out to be lucky with 5 children. Rosie, Nodi, Omar, Elvie, and Christy, who added the family names De La Cruz, Quijano, Ricabar, Peralta, and Bautista to the Figueroa clan and produced 16 grandchildren. And the youngest son, Pakito, the handsome, debonair, and sometimes roguish man of the family, was a carefree and happy soul. He was fashionable, charming, and above all, confident. Maybe it was because he was Adriana's favorite. He could get away with anything. Sometimes, when his mother was asleep, he would take out the key for the rice barn to sneak out a few kavans of rice to sell for extra cash. He grew up an avid endurance swimmer, even once swimming the distance from Parong-Parong to Halang without once stopping. In his prime, he was the most charming of the clan, romancing his way into the hearts of Metri, Betty, and Lily, Who couldn't resist the handsome Pakito, striding by atop his Tiburi, the equivalent of a Casanova in a sports car? Who didn't know his charm and generosity? His nephew and godson, Juanito, certainly remember. Juanito recounts how Lolo Iyong would give him 5 centavos for school allowance every day, while Pakito would give him 50 centavos, a small fortune back in the 1940s. Pakito was sports-minded. He loved swimming and boxing. He was a manager and a boxing trainer. He taught his nephews Juanito and Pabling how to box. In Amang Iyong's sponsored cockfights, he would help them out as a bouncer to keep peace and order. As a man, he tried everything and lived the way he wanted to. His motto was, "Life is short, live it to the fullest." Do all the things you enjoy while young, and living life to the fullest. He most certainly did. Smoke, drink, and best of all, fall in love. Pakito had a total of 5 children. He had Arce and Rolly with Mitri. Betty, who like Pakito possessed an irresistible charm, gave him Carmelita, who is married to Tiong. They also had a son named Carlito. Linda, his youngest daughter, was brought into this world by Lily. Put together, his 5 children bore him 18 grandchildren, 14 of which made their life's journey and adventure beyond the boundaries of Philippine soil. They lived in several parts of USA, Singapore, Dubai, Jeddah, and Istanbul, Turkey. Today, he is smiling down and telling his children and grandchildren, "You have done well, and I am proud of who you have become. I enjoyed my short-lived life. Go and enjoy a long, prosperous, happy life." And finally, Amang Iyong's youngest daughter, Felisa, married a Santiago. They had 3 children. Felicitas married Vinod, Franklin married Florinda and blessed with 3 children. Dory married to Noel and blessed with a son, the smallest set in this big clan. Felisa among the siblings is the one closest to Pakito. She helped in taking care of him during his final years. The succeeding generations of Figueroa saw the clan branching out of Halang and moving far and wide. They tried their luck in different fields of expertise and moved around the Philippines and the globe. Others settled in Hong Kong, while some chose to chase the American dream. There are those who moved to Canada, Australia, United Kingdom, and even Saudi Arabia. Though the Figueroas may be spread across the world, there is one place a family can go back to and rediscover their roots. This place, the ancestral house in Halang, Bulacan. There is always one day every year that gives everyone an opportunity to meet and get to know the clan. It is one day in August where the Robles Figueroa celebrate the clan reunion. And it is perhaps serendipitous that today, August 9, year 2015, that the reunion happens on Amang Iyong's birthday. Today, the clan is reminded of their ancestors, a day to honor their elders and let the memories live. Welcome home, Robles Figueroa.
I am Carmelita Figueroa Tiong, the middle child of the 5 children of Pakito Figueroa. Today, together with my brother Isaac, the eldest, and my youngest sister Linda, we would like to say thank you for being here and for the privilege of being together as a family. As our family gets bigger, let us be brought together by the memory of our loved ones who were once with us and now just lives in our memory. Let us strengthen the bond of relationship as we face the future and keep our ties to the past. Remember Eulogio and Adriana Figueroa, our parents, and their legacy of love, charity, compassion, forgiveness, and family togetherness. Today, I remember my father, Pakito, who holds a special place in my heart, who lived a short and spirited life. He left us with a reminder, and his legacy encapsulated in this quote: "Life is too short to be anything but happy." To my mother, Betty, who blazed the trail of single motherhood to most Filipino women, and to Nana Mitring, who had the strength few women of her times had. To Lily, who had shown us the humanity for falling in love with the most handsome and most charming member of the second generation Figueroa family, and left me a treasure, and that is my sister, Linda. Until the next reunion, let us keep in our hearts that family is a treasure that cannot be measured, and family is life's greatest blessings.